Hey everyone, it's Allison here. I just wanted to do a quick video blog about food choices in the global economy. So I think this is an important subject that a lot of raw fooders don't really mention, and I find myself typing this out on emails often, so I thought I would just make a video so I don't have to type it anymore. So here goes. Food choices in a global economy. We as humans are a tropical species. We originated in the tropics, and the further and further away we migrated from the tropics, we learned how to adapt our diet. We learned to cultivate grains, how to live off of animal proteins. Of course, this includes milk, cheese, meat, organs, the whole gamut. And of course, the further and further we made from the tropics, it got colder, so we also learned how to use all the parts of the animal's body to make clothing, to keep us warm, because our bodies still thrive and feel most comfortable in that tropical climate. Further we moved away from the tropics, we also lightened our skin color. You can tell that nowadays, and I mean it's common sense and well known, and again, if you don't believe me on any of this stuff, you just look it up yourself. The further and further away people migrated from the tropics, their skin got lighter and lighter, and this is because of vitamin D. Because there is less sun the further away you get from the equator, so in order to absorb enough vitamin D, which is actually a hormone, not a vitamin, the skins of the people had to get lighter, which you can tell by the color of my skin. My ancestors have been away from the tropics much longer than some others. So I found this part about the vitamin D very interesting, because when you start eating more and more whole foods, which means you're not eating processed foods that are fortified with vitamin D, it's very important that you make sure that your vitamin D levels are appropriate. I personally follow the recommendations by the Vitamin D Council, which is not a government-run organization, and I have been tested and tried all different kinds of natural ways, and I actually am supplementing now because I live in Boston and can tell a huge difference since I started supplementing with vitamin D. And we are currently, right now, our whole family is supplementing. So I personally am taking 5,000 IUs a day, and I'm going to get rechecked again in another 3 months to see if my levels come up again. That is not the point of this video, but I wanted to put that out there because I think it's one thing that I missed in my transition to raw, because I was stuck in the mindset that now that I am eating the best foods, I don't need to take any supplements. And I never thought of the sun as actually being a nutrient that I needed to consume. So, back to food choices in the global economy. So now we've been living in this cold climate, North America, for a long time. Our ancestors are living, enjoying their lives, and then we have the Industrial Revolution, where people start living more inside their houses, and they are working in factories. They're not outside getting the sunlight anymore, and then we start having all kinds of transportation, which is great. Now we have trains and planes and boats and everything to bring food from the tropics up to us now, whereas before we didn't. I mean, my grandma still remembers that it was exciting on Christmas to get an orange in your stocking, because that was big time. Not everyone had oranges. So I think it's really just in the dawn of like the baby boomers, their generation started having this global economy where you could essentially go into the grocery store and get any kind of fruit you want. And now it's to the point where there's not really even any seasons in the grocery store. You can kind of tell by the prices of things where the seasons are in which countries or whatnot. But anyhow, I just kind of want to put this out there because I think a lot of people think that, like, oh, well, our ancestors have lived off of grains for so long, and, look at, why should they change? or why should I change my diet? Look at, it's worked for them for years. But we're talking about like really like thriving. We're not just like surviving. Like we have the economy, the global economy to get our natural food, which is fruits and tender leafy greens, if you choose. And we can eat off of that year round, even though we're so far away from the tropics now. Granted, the best thing to do would be to move to the tropics again. Who wouldn't want to live on a beach? But anyhow, just thought I'd put this out there. Hope it can help someone. Thank you.